to be very honest, I mean, you know, when it first happens, you're like, you know, just let her make it,
right.
You know. But then you start mourning, okay, am I going to have back my child? And when everyone tells you, you know, that she's going to never be the same, you start mourning that child, and you get to, well, I don't just want my child back, I want my child back how it was.
Right.
And then you get to, well, that's selfish, because, you know, so many people don't get to bring their children home in situations like, so it's a very tug of war, and it sounds very selfish. I mean, because I went back and forth a lot, and then you feel guilty for demanding that you get your whole child back. It's like, just be happy she's going back, but just a roller coaster. And you know, it's hard, I think, as any parent to see their kids struggle.
So thankful from where we were 5 months ago. I mean, it's hard, where she was so close to death many times, and to know that she is here and just celebrated her 11th birthday.
Tell me about Cora.
She is funny, nice, and a good friend.
So what makes her a good friend?
Whenever someone's sad or mad, she gets them happy again.
Oh, that does make a good friend.
How does she do that?
She'll like tell us funny jokes or make up crazy stories.
My only problem about 6th grade is trying to figure out the lockers. We went to take a visit at the middle school and I could not get the locker thing down.
That's okay, because I had that trouble at first, but then after you do it a couple times, it'll be fine.
Probably just take the door off.
Just take the door off.
She was getting ready to fix a bottle for her bucket calf, getting ready to go out to the farm to feed the bucket calf. Her brother was going to take her that night because I had a meeting, and then we were going to go to karate practice. And I was getting ready, and my husband started hollering, and then he hollered, call 911, and she had been in at the kitchen sink, and he was walking into the kitchen and found her face down on the floor and turned her over, and she was struggling to breathe, called 911, then she started seizing. From there we went to the ambulance to the hospital, and they couldn't get the seizure stopped. They did CAT scan or MRI, I don't remember which one, and it wasn't getting any better, so they had her life watched out to Wichita. The preferred treatment for that is steroids, but because infectious disease hadn't cleared her yet, we couldn't start the steroid treatments. So after they found the Hashimoto's, 2 days later, infectious disease cleared her, and she started steroids, and about 2 days after that, she finally stopped seizing. And we were about 16 to 18 days in by that time. We got off the vent and we started waking up. Unfortunately, I don't know how it is for everyone when they start waking up, but Cora wasn't like you see in the movies where you wake up, you're smiling and you're talking.
Oh, yeah.
By this time they said she was addicted to narcotics and put her on a methadone drip to battle that, and she started having she wasn't really conscious, but she was constantly talking and seizing and singing songs and mixing them up and just kind of agitated, and they thought she had ICU psychosis, which they said was common with as long as she'd been in. And then we kind of got past that, but she started having hallucinations and was very agitated. We were restrained to the bed on a feeding tube still. And they started working with that, and then they found out some of the medicines they were giving her to fight the hallucinations was actually causing them. So we got her off that, and after we got her off that and could get her unrestrained from a bed, we had moved to the rehabilitation floor, and we started the process of learning how to walk again, learning how to feed ourselves, you know, bathe ourselves. It was, you started from scratch, but it was just, you know, progressing and basically starting over with a little infant that can't do anything to progressing where we are today.
Are you feeling better than you did a couple months ago? Yeah.
I felt really bad because my mom told me because of what happened. I was kind of mean before I went to the hospital, and I feel really bad about that.
We did talk to the kids at the first of the year because, you know, she is so puffy and stuff from her medication. So first few days of school, first day or two of school, she and I went down to the library and did a little bit of work, and the nurse came in and talked to the kids, explained to them that it is her medication that causes her to be that way, and that she was, you know, seriously ill over the summer. And so they have been just really, really wonderful, the other kids. She just a whole different night and day from last year, from what I understand.
So how was school for you this year?
Good, except sometimes people would be mean to me.
Oh really? What would they be mean about?
Like one time, my shirt accidentally came up a little bit, and I have a little bit of stretch marks on my stomach, and they were laughing at me.
Oh.
But Miss Stanley, my teacher, made them write an apology note.
For the most part, the kids have just kind of surrounded her in a protective bubble. When there were maybe some issues come up about remarks maybe about her weight or something like that, the school handled it, but that was very far and few between. Most of the time the kids just, this is Cora, and you know, a lot of them were very protective of her, and so she was lucky, from the students to the staff, that she was in a school that supported her like they did.
She understands that her medication does affect her, because she'll even tell me that, you know, my medication causes me to do this, or my medication will cause me to do this. So yeah, I think she has a pretty good understanding of. But you know, she doesn't really use it to get attention.
At times, you know, I don't want to take meds, I want to be like every other kid, why can't I just be normal? But to see him struggle through that, but still, I mean, for the most part, she's had a very good attitude and a happy attitude, very, you know, outgoing and friendly still, so it's just hard, and you just think, you know, any kid shouldn't have to struggle that hard.
I give her pretty free rein on when she doesn't feel good. You know, some of the kids, I'll be like, you know, I don't feel good, so I feel their forehead. Well, you don't have a fever, so you just need to stay in the classroom, you know. If you really feel like you're going to, but with her, you know, if she says she has a headache, I just tell her to go see the nurse, because, you know, she was critically ill, and I'm not going to be the one to decide whether or not she that's Mrs. Tackett's job. But she really hasn't even abused that like I thought she might.
Well, I check on her fairly regular basis, because her illness, she just needs to be monitored, so we check with her every day. And she comes in once a day and spends about 15 minutes with me. And I assess her and make sure that she's doing okay and that she's still agreeing with her medications and stuff, and giving her emotional support.
You know that poster I showed you? That was on biomes where the different animal live. And I had to act like I was a polar bear, and I had to talk about what the tundra is like.
What did you say as a polar bear?
That it was really cold. And I had to do the adaptations of what a polar bear has. Like a polar bear has a really short tail, so it can keep in the heat, and small ears. And when it swims underwater, its nostrils close, so no water will get in it.
What else do polar bears have for the cold? Lots of what on it?
Blubber that can be to 10 centimeters thick.
You know, she loves to share. She's always willing to participate. She always, you know, she's always eager to ask questions, to answer questions. You know, she doesn't, you know, she's not shy or.
Oh, we know that.
So, yeah.
I got all A's and B's.
You got all A's and B's?
And we took a reading test, and mine said I read at a freshman level in the second semester.
Whoa! And you're only a 5th grader? Well, you're going to be a 6th grader, right?
Yeah.
And you got released to do sports, so tell me about what activities you're going to be doing.
I'm going to be doing basketball, volleyball, and sparring and karate. That's
cool.
Like my favorite thing in karate.
Awesome. And you didn't get to go to the fair last year, did you?
I went in the buildings, but I didn't really get to go outside.
Yeah. So this year for the fair, you'll get to have your projects, right? And what projects do you have?
Too many.
What are your animal projects? How about that?
Goats, pigs, and rabbits. Will you hold this one for me, Mama? Quit! Quit it! I'm not food! I am not food, Sally. Come here. Wait. Ah!
You want me to put some food in their trough when you get them?
Goats can be pretty fast. They are not wanting to work today. I'll go get Billy. Billy's in here, so he's easier to get.
And then, are you doing archery? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what
I'm
else?
not sure what you're supposed to do in archery for the fair.
Just hit targets. Exactly. So what are your other projects?
I got arts and crafts, collections, food preservations, cooking, and lots of other stuff.
Ceramics.
Oh yeah, ceramics.
How would you describe to somebody who has never met Cora, like, and they're like, "Tell me about that girl"? What would you say?
Witty, rambunctious, amusing, entertaining, just a good kid.
And I don't know what else.
This sock is inside out.
It's okay.
Both of them are inside out.